This is the PR Podcast, a show about how public relations helps you tell your story to the world. We talk with great PR practitioners who have the skills, creativity, and just plain savvy to get their clients noticed. Now here's your host, Jody Fisher.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the PR Podcast. I'm Jody Fisher. Thanks for joining us. Well, we took a couple of weeks off, and by a couple of weeks off, I mean like more than a month off. I was just in one of those places where I had too much to do. I was a little burned out. I actually got sick a little bit. So if you've been missing us, thank you so much. If you didn't miss us and you didn't know you were gone, shame on you. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but we're back. And so we want to dive right back in to some great conversations and bring some great value to you guys who are listening week in, week out. We really appreciate. And speaking of which, if you want to be a guest on the PR Podcast, you should drop us a line at the PR Podcast on any of the socials, or you can email me direct, jody@jodyfisherpr.com. Tell us why you want to be on the show. You know, it's a show about how the news gets made, but we color outside of those lines a little bit and branch into anything that deals with communications and better communications with the audiences that we're trying to reach. So drop us a line, tell us why you want to be a guest on the show, and give us a couple things that you want to talk about on the show. You know, we kind of let the guests define the agenda here on the show because we want to hear from them. They are the experts. I'm just your friendly neighborhood narrator. So let us know why you would be a great guest on a future episode of the PR Podcast, and we will get you scheduled. Now on with our show for today. We have two terrific guests. Al Schuster is founder and president of Polaris Brand Promotions, where he's spent the last 9 years building a nationwide promotional staffing and experiential marketing agency that helps brands across industries, from alcoholic beverages and consumer packaged goods to tech products and services, creating unforgettable experiences for their audiences. Along with Heather Johnson, the business development coordinator for Polaris Brand Promotions, their agency specializes in executing consumer activation events from large-scale gatherings like sporting events and music festivals to more intimate in-store activations, while also providing detailed recap reporting, there's that ROI, to deliver actionable insights for clients. Al, Heather, welcome to the PR Podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Great to be here.
Great to have you. Tell us a little bit about Polaris Brand Promotions and the whole concept of experiences for not only your clients, but the audience that they're serving.
Thanks, Jody. So Polaris Brand Promotions is a nationwide promotional staffing and experiential marketing agency based out of Philadelphia. We have over 8,000 brand ambassadors across the country. We've handled everything from new and emerging brands doing in-store tastings all the way up to international brands. We've done a ton of event staffing, everything from trade shows to street teams, even graduation events for our clients. And as you said during the introduction, you know, our motto, our goal is to always create unforgettable experiences for your brand.
Yeah, you know, when I hear that phrase, that experiential, I go back to, oh my gosh, it's got to be almost 20 years ago at this point. I attended one of the very first Mashable. Anybody remember Mashable conferences? Mashable.com was a huge tech website back in the day. And it was also at the very front end of social media really starting to crest. But the one concept that I remember from that 3-day conference down in Disney World, of all places, was the concept of experiences, giving people experiences, because that as they explained, and I have believed all these years, is really the hook behind success. Heather, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, people love to have experiences. You're creating memories and you're making new connections with either the other people that you're with or the brand that is interacting with you. And you know, we all have our favorite brands. We love it when they love us back. So when they're offering experiences, it's almost like a gift that they're showing that they care about you as the consumers, that you're maybe part of the whole brand in itself. And then leading into social media, of course, you get to engage a little bit more with the people behind the brand and knowing the stories of it as well. No matter how big the brand is, people like personal connections, and experiences are everything. it's always nice to have the actual thing in your hands, but the experiences that you can share with other people are the most memorable.
Yeah, got to agree. But I guess before you get to that experience or you're pulling the trigger on the big event, whatever that big event is, you really have to work to understand the brand and the goal. Al, tell us a little bit about how you do.
Uh, we're not just in the business of sending staff out to cover a 3 or 4 hour demo. We work extensively, and our operations department is amazing. We work very closely with our clients before the events happen, while the program is running, and even after the events are happening, or as the program is ongoing, to really understand what makes the event successful and how to build on and capitalize on what we've learned while representing their brands to help them get better over time. We have several steps that we do. First is we have a scope of services form. It's the who, what, where, when, why, how. What are they wearing? How much are they giving away? What kind of goals and KPIs do you have? And we sit down with our clients, do a meeting, go through these line by line to understand their brand, really understand the brand's history, the story, so that when our staff is speaking to consumers, they can really educate them about the brand. What makes them different? What makes them unique? What's the story? Are they a local brand? Are they, charity driven? Are they giving away a part of their profits to an organization? We really want to understand the brand inside and out, and also what our clients' goals are in order to present the brand as successfully as possible and to meet those goals.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about key ingredients that make a campaign really successful. Uh, are there, Heather? Do you have like a rundown of what those some of those things are that make an experiential or an activation really super successful? I mean, it's not just like throwing the lawn guy out in front of the car dealership and bringing the local radio station down. There's a lot more than that, right?
Yes, the pre-planning is key, having those conversations ahead of it, which is what Al was mentioning with the scope of services, and understanding the goals is also trying to narrow down who the target audience is, and then where they will be, and then what time they'll be there, and when they are most likely to be receptive to the communication. So we put all of those together and then make sure we get the right team to put in front of them as well, again with being receptive to that target audience, and to engage them and to lead the conversations to make sure that they get to also engage. And with the training that we have with our team ahead of time, and I'll mention this as well, we have the details of the behind the scenes of how maybe the product is made, or the different variations, or the history, that we can answer the questions and make it more personable. So everybody's prepared.
That's a great point. There are lots of different types of experiences, I guess, too, right? Depending on the client, depending on the audience, and sort of the what you want to achieve. Are there examples that you have of maybe successful activations or experiential events that you've done? I mean, they got to be all different, right?
Oh, very much so. Each client has their own unique goals, their own unique brand identity that they're trying to represent. I know before we, sat down to record today, Heather and I were kind of, going back and forth, like, what's our favorite one's been? And I know for me personally, because I've gone down from Philly to Baltimore to run this program, is we work with Safeway, a major supermarket chain that's run by Albertsons. And each year for the Baltimore Ravens home game, they have an area called Ravens Walk outside of the stadium where all of the vendors are giving away samples. They have a live band, they have a bar set up and whatnot to get drinks and whatever. And our agency staffs this 10-foot by 20-foot setup every year. And it really encompasses a lot of what we do in the experiential space. We're engaging with maybe 1,000 attendees per game about 3 to 4 hours before the game starts. We are using a spin wheel or a plinko wheel to give away prizes. These prizes are Safeway branded merchandise, such as hats, koozies, beaded little giveaway items, trinkets, stuff like that. The goal being to obviously raise brand awareness. We also give away sometimes like coupons, call to action to get consumers to follow up with their brand experience by actually going into the retail location to use that. We also have like a giant Jenga setup. We have there's a body of a player where you can stand behind it and your head sticks out the top, and it's a great photo opportunity that really capitalizes on Safeway's partnership with the Baltimore Ravens. And myself and a couple of members of our team are there, really engaging with the fans, helping with setup, breakdown, the logistics behind getting these items to the Ravens Walk. And it's really a wonderful experience, especially engaging with the attendees, the fans, talking about the brand, answering questions they have, and really seeing the enjoyment on their face when they're winning something. It really adds to that excitement and that electricity of an activation to basically make people happier while raising that brand awareness. So, Heather, how about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking of those long lines that you get in front of your tent to play those games. Having long lines is also just proof that people want to be there. They want to interact. The prizes are the cherry on top. My favorite activation is one that we've worked for twice now. In Philadelphia, we were in wrapped food trucks all outside the city and popping up in different locations, giving away what is called bird dogs. So we had dyed green buns for the Eagles. Mine is also sports related. Um, and we handed out these bird dogs to consumers. We kind of gave like a heads up of where it was going to be, but they would come to the food truck. They would get this very interesting looking hot dog with a green bun, plus hats and t-shirts. And we had influencers come around, and we were on the news, and it was really fun because our team, as Al said, we are still very much involved in these interactions. We like the work. We were brand ambassadors first, and now we continue on the more professional side and the corporate side. But we get to be brand ambassadors as well. So it could be anything from actually talking about the brand to working on a hot dog truck, which is what we did for this activation. It's just so unique and so cool.
That's great. Part of the setup here and part of the planning has also got to be, I'm thinking of the people like whether they're at the food truck or they're grabbing some merch or something like that, has got to also be the what I'll call the back of house preparations, right? Like getting the social media set up because people are, not only engaging with you, but then they're taking photos and they're taking videos, and you want to be able to capitalize on those things. How do you go about setting up the social media side of things, just as an example, to make sure that you're leveraging all of that value in real time?
Yes, absolutely. We are interested in the social media aspect of this. Uh, Most of the times, a hashtag will be given to us, and then we'll share it with people. So if we'll be like, add this hashtag if you promote it to your story or your feed, and you might either be featured, you might get to win something. For the same client, we were at a trade show. And if you added the hashtag after you played the interactive game that was on the trade show floor, your photo might get put on a screen that was outside their booth. So it was just a really fun way to engage and then keep it going. And people get so excited about that because they want to feel like a part of a community for a little bit or for a long amount of time. Going back and sharing photos later, it feels like you're part of something.
And that, Al, is part of the sort of the second step of what you guys provide, which is the recap and the reporting and the insights, right? It's not enough to say we gave away 500 t-shirts. It's like, what do those t-shirts mean? Right? Walk me through the ROI, the second step of what you're providing to the client.
Well, first of all, yes, recap reporting is critical. Most of our clients, the most important number is how many units were sold, meaning, how many actual sales to kind of cost justify, the spend on the demo, being both the staffing and the cost of the products and materials that go into it. But beyond that, our clients are looking for pictures. They're looking for just general demographic information like average age, average gender. They want to know how many touch points, how many customers they interacted with, how many samples were given away. How we summarize that and how we present that all to our client is one word: pinata. Pinata is probably, I'd have to say, one of our favorite vendors. They are a recap reporting tool. It allows us to share all of the brand information with our brand ambassadors. It allows them to check in and check out when they're on site. Allows them to complete their recap report, upload everything, the pictures, any of the answers and everything, which we then go and share with our clients. But beyond that, Heather actually leads the second part of this. On occasion, our clients do like to have their own customized recap reporting. And Heather, why don't you take it away from there?
Yeah, so does a great job of putting it all together in an immediately available PDF, but sometimes consumers want to, or like, sorry, our clients want to share with their marketing team and they want to present it as if they put it together, which is something that we offer. We can white label it and, it's not our logo on there, it's your logo, and it's able to show to whoever in the meeting you need to give this information to, and it can feature the specifics of what you're giving out. The consumers holding up the swag that you maybe spend a lot of money to send out to people. You want to make sure that they're getting it, and like who's getting it and who's interested in that. All of that can be put together. And what's nice about that is we have our software, which can have individual PDFs per event. But then if you ask us to do a customized one, we can kind of put it together and provide that information in an easier digestible way, instead of like all in one spot, so that it makes a lot of sense for why you're doing these demos and the participation that you're receiving.
Yeah, Heather, you bring up a great point, and I probably drove too fast past this in the beginning, which is budget, right? And the ideal type of client that you're working with. You can easily, throw $10 million at something, right? But where do the ideal clients fall? And how does a client maybe evaluate their own ability to work with a firm like yours to successfully execute some kind of an experiential thing? I mean, you don't have to spend $10 million, but I imagine you do have to have some kind of budget. Where's the sweet spot?
I'll just start with the one thing that we offer, because all of our services are customizable, is that we are going to help you out in this area. So if you're not trying to spend a lot right away, we have our team always have a black tablecloth. They can bring their own table. They will have their own sample cups, and they can wear all black and sort of just be there to promote your product and set that up on the table, so that it kind of provides a blank background for your product to stand out, your logo, your colors, everything. If you want to go further and have printed posters, or a pamphlet out on the table, some people like to have personalized sample cups. You can then work with us and we will put together kits for you. If you want to go even more, and I'll let Al handle this because I know he's driven around tents for our people, we will help you. We can help accommodate that as well. Go ahead, Al.
Thanks. And to add on to what Heather said, we really work closely with our clients. And, our clients are everything from, startup brands who have a really small budget, or who have venture capital investment that they really have to track their spend on, all the way up to, national brands who this is a major, 5-figure, 6-figure investment for them. Our agency has no minimums. You can use us as much or as little as you want. We've had clients who are like, look, we're not ready to do an entire program, but we do need help at a couple of consumer-facing events where our staff just can't be at 2 places at the same time. And our staff will come in, and we can act as a complimentary service to the systems they already have in place. Whether they have a salesperson that goes out and does all of the demos and the promotional events, and we can be extra staff to help out with that. Or if you're in a market where you maybe haven't hired a salesperson yet, but we're looking to kind of get into stores, we can go out and do the demos in those markets. So we work with all, clients of all different budgets and sizes. And we really also work to help with our clients to determine, what is the best way to spend your money. And to Heather's point, we've had clients come to us and they've been like, well, we want, a tent, a table runner, a tablecloth. They want to spend all this money on supplies and then have to worry about the logistics of getting it from point A to point B. And it turns out to be just a nightmare for all involved. When you're doing a demo, the 2 things that should really sell are the consumer's engagement with the product. We call it liquid to lips when we do our alcoholic beverage and our liquid sampling demos, but the same thing goes for consumer packaged goods as well. And, the engagement with the brand and the engagement with the brand ambassador. And we always coach and advise our clients and say, look, we're going to put the product for sale out on the table. We'll bring all the supplies like the table, the tablecloth, the ice bucket, and whatnot. If you want to, when you're starting out your campaign, put some postcard size recipe cards, put an 8.5 by 11 acrylic display sign with maybe a QR code so you can gather that customer information. Our brand ambassadors are trained to pull consumers in. Hi, would you like to come over and try a sample? Hi, we're doing, an energy drink sampling. Would you like to try something? Really engage with them, pull them in, and have that positive experience that you don't need to break the bank on, spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on creating a massive display for a 3-hour demo that you have to move around from time to time.
All great insights. Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of the same conversation that the PR people have on this end, where, that client sits down across the table and the first thing they say is, I want to be in the New York Times. You're talking about like table runners and things like that. It's the same conversation. It's like, wait a minute, back up like 10 steps. Let's figure this out together. So just rounding out the conversation here, you've got, I think a lot more, you tell me, right? But a lot more emphasis on this experiential, I think, going forward. I think people are really sort of craving real world stuff as opposed to things that come up on their tiny screen, whatever it may be. But where is all this going over the course of the next 5 years? And how are you guys sort of staying ahead of the curve?
Incorporating technology is going to be huge. I mean, everyone's talking about AI. Everyone's talking about, the different ways to use it and whatnot. In my opinion, yeah, anything AI created is never going to replace experiences. I mean, hands down. I mean, you can create the best, digital marketing. You can create the best, AI generated artwork or written, things. But, actually having a chance to try the product, to experience it firsthand, to get your own impression of it is going to be critical. So where I see, this going in terms of the next 5 years is incorporating technology to enhance the experiential activation. Some examples of that is, we've been using QR codes for now. You can use QR codes for a lot. You can do it for coupons. You can do it to fill out a form, to enter to win a contest, things like that. I know augmented reality isn't in the news as much, but we've done activations where we have like AR, elements, or like VR headsets and things like that. So I think for our industry in the experiential marketing space is finding the new and emerging technologies and finding ways for our clients to be able to utilize them and for us to utilize them on their behalf in order to enhance the experience. Only make that sampling event or that demonstration, that promotional event, even more receptive to the consumer and to the audience.
And I'll also jump in because I agree that experiential marketing is becoming everything. Like the more you can add even just little bit of touch points, and brand ambassadors are great for this because they are going to make it fun. They are the ones who are going to be engaging. So I just got back from a trade show, and the amount of experiential marketing, everything that Al just listed, there was augmented reality. I was able to put them on and walk around cows. These goggles. There were QR codes, definitely to win prizes, but also for the coupons, future coupons, and different ways to collect data, of course. But the experiential marketing aspect of it, there were brand ambassadors at these trade shows running full little activations on their own while the people who were running the trade show booth were able to discuss business with other people. So that it wasn't just a brand ambassador now handing out samples, it was even more than that. So there was somebody, they had like little fishing poles and they were fishing for prizes, and people were lining up, full of donut girls were lining up to go fishing in this little pond. And it's really cool because people love it. They love to have fun. So I think that a lot of different marketing is going to evolve into having an experiential aspect of it, no matter what. I think that's going to be in the future of how this is going. Sampling is, of course, always going to be good for the try before you buy aspect of like food and beverage. But in other like technology and the healthcare world, those worlds as well are going to probably have things where you can be doing something to either get something, to win something, or to just have fun.
Well, we're going to be watching it closely, and we'll see how Polaris leads the charge here. Al and Heather, thanks so much for joining us today. We are not done with you yet, however. We're going to segue now into the rapid fire question portion of our podcast. This is where we steal a page from inside the actor's studio. We ask our guests a series of rapid fire questions meant to elicit a simple answer, maybe a laugh or two. With your indulgence, Al and Heather, let's begin with rapid fire question number one. What is your favorite news source?
NPR.
I'd have to say CNN's usually my go-to.
Sounds good. All right, this is going to be an interesting answer. Rapid fire question number two. What's your favorite social media platform?
Currently, I'm on Instagram.
I'm all about Facebook. Old school. What can I say?
There you go. Rapid fire question number three. Coffee or alcohol? Or you can insert a different one if you'd like.
I know you got this one, Heather.
Water. The most adult drink, water.
Between the two, I'd have to say alcohol. I mean, some of our brands I've fallen in love with, a little slightly biased.
Yeah, you can kind of be ahead of the curve here, right, Al?
Yeah.
Rapid fire question number four. What is your favorite on the run food? Boy, you're at those trade shows, you're at those events, you're at those activations. What's in the bag?
That's so true. I was going to say Wawa because that's my favorite Philadelphia area store. That's if I'm going to grab lunch, that's where I go. But at these trade shows, the ones that I grab the most are pretzels.
For me, just protein shakes. Got one right here. Just grab it out of the fridge and run when I'm on the go.
Sounds good. And rapid fire question number five. What do each of you want to be after you finish this career?
I think that graphic design is something that I will always have in my heart. So I'm a freelance graphic designer as well. So probably something along the art or design world.
I'd have to say sitting in my beachfront house where it's 80 degrees year round with a palm tree in the front yard.
That sounds like a great plan. I love it. Alan, Heather, this has been a terrific conversation. Thanks so much for sharing your insights. Please let people know how they can find each of you and your company online.
I'd say the best way is to go to polarisbrandpromotions.com. We've recently revamped our website. We've added some case studies and a lot of information about the different offerings we have in cities across the country.
Yeah, and our Instagram and Facebook is all Polaris Brand Promotions. So we're easy to find there as well.
Sounds good. We'll put it all in the show notes as well. Al and Heather, thanks again for joining us today. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the show, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The PR Podcast, and send us a question or a comment. Our intro is by Christopher Apple. You can find him and his fantastic photography on Instagram at Christopher_APPOLDT. Check him out there and hire him for all your photography needs. You can find me online at Jody Fisher on all the socials and on the web at jodyfisherpr.com. We'll see you next time on the PR Podcast.